But anyway, my new dream is to like have this YouTube channel where like I go around and I would ask kids like, hey, do you want to go for a ride in my car? And specifically, I'd have like a Gallardo or something, and then I'd talk about them, well, talk with them and be like, hey, what are your like goals and ambitions in life? But I'm just undecided if this is like a reasonable dream to pursue, because I really just want to motivate and inspire kids to be like, hey, I want you to go out and do what you want to do. Don't do what everybody's telling you to do. Do it for you. Like, I want to do it, not because mom wants me to go to college. Like, is this like something reasonable, or is that like?
It's very reasonable. I mean,
wrong?
you just got to make sure you don't get arrested for trying to roll up on kids and say, hey, get in my car. But I'm sure they have that prearranged. I'm just blessing. So yeah, I think it's super reasonable. I think Avery, I think you just need to realize that it's probably going to be 2 full years of you putting out videos on YouTube before it pops. And so can you afford to like be in a place where you're chasing that when you're not making any money? Can you get a bullshit job that pays you a little something to maintain a little rent and a little food? Like, you know what's funny? When I hear people say it's my dream, it always catches my attention, because I'm always like, is it? Because when I hear people say it's my dream, then I'm like, oh, this is gonna be easy. Hey, Avery, for 5 years, nothing good's gonna happen. You're gonna work at 7-Eleven or at an office or some shit just to pay rent and food, so that the other 7 hours you can work on driving with Avery. Nothing good is gonna happen for 5 years. You're not gonna be fucking Garyvee. You're not gonna fucking pop. You're not gonna make money. You're not. And if you're like that, then it is your dream, and let's go. Yes, so all you need to do is find and this is a big shout out to everybody who's got a dream. The number one way as a young person to win on a dream is to find a bullshit job that doesn't take up a lot of time. Let me say it one more time, because it's confusing as fuck. The way you because if you went right out of school and started doing this, and you had a couple of dollars saved up and you're couch serving, or your parents are paying for it or whatever, cool. But guess what? It's only gonna last 2 or 3 months, because you're not gonna, everyone's like, oh, by month 6, I'll be making $100,000 on ads on YouTube. It never happens. So the way to actually live a dream usually is for that dream to be your side hustle, but takes up all your free time, because it's your dream now, right? It's not like kinda, it's your dream now. You know, it takes away from 2K, it takes away from hanging with your boys, it takes away from having a girlfriend, boyfriend, it takes away from shit. It's a fucking dream. The way to fucking have a dream is for you, when I'm listening, maybe you get a job as, you know, at a car business, because you fuck with them, right? Like maybe you fucking work at, maybe you're you're a receptionist at a fucking car dealership.
No, I did that. I swear, I worked at Mitsubishi. I was the receptionist. I was the valet. I worked in parts. Like, I've done all this car stuff. I've been around people. I'm definitely a people person, which is why I feel like I have to do this, because I want people to be like, he can do it. Like, everybody can.
Avery, good. Get a job at a school that pays for you to be able to have a roof and eat. Clearly, not the kind of job that's going to give you a mansion and caviar, the kind of job that's going to give you Bojangles and 3 roommates, right?
Yeah.
And then you have 6 hours, 7 hours a day to fucking do your dream. It's very feasible. Is the concept right? You know the concept's right. Fucking the coffee with fucking comedians, Seinfeld shit. You've seen this already. Of course it's feasible. It's just going to come down to how talented you are.
I just wasn't sure if I wasn't sure if you were going to suggest like a podcast or like do something else besides like, oh, go check out this Lambo and go for a ride.
Good news. When you do the Lambo and go for a ride, you got to figure out how you're going to get these cars. But you know that I have a feeling you're going to try to figure that out. But
engineering, it's fine.
But you script the audio and you make it a podcast. So you film it. You make it my podcast is a top 200 podcast in the world. And I never rarely sit down and actually do a podcast. It's just a script audio from shit I do like this.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. I can roll with that.
The framework, Avery, is side job to pay for you to chase your dream for a long time. People jump into their dream, Dustin, and have no money, have no savings, have no reserves, and they have to quit after 5 weeks because miraculously they didn't become fucking Kevin Hart after 2 videos about humor. What they need to do is get that bullshit job. Especially the reason I like receptionists and other shit like that is like, get me a job that actually lets me be on my phone 6 of the 7 hours, as long as I'm taking care of the inbound, so I can even keep pumping my shit. That pays. I get 2 roommates. I have a roof. I want people to have bullshit jobs and save money, which is why I'm like, hey, make 29K, but live a 22K life so you save, right? And it's obviously taxes or whatever, but like, people get the point. I want you to make 29K, save 1,000 a year, and work on your fucking dream. Your fucking dream. Everyone talks about fucking dreams. If it's a fucking dream, you should bleed out of your eyes. If it's a fucking dream, you should sweat for a decade. It's a fucking dream. People think dreams are being handed out here like fucking candy.
My dilemma is, my mind feels like it's going in every single direction all the time. My wife puts it the best way as, it's like a junk drawer in your kitchen on a trampoline.
Like that.
So,
by the way, you know who else is like that? This guy.
Yeah, she's like, you got
it's called being creative.
Yes, that's what she said. She got a very creative mind, and the problem is I'll have something going, and it feels like I have momentum going on. Then all of a sudden, fucking squirrel, right? Like, oh my God, I've got this other idea that I want to get going. Yes.
Isaac, have you ever thought that the concept of being happy is cooler than making money?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
Well, good. If you actually believe that, then this conversation's over.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is I'm in real estate, and you know, another one of my hobbies that I absolutely love to do. So I usually will kill it the first part of the year, and the second part of the year I'm in the mountains about 3 or 4 months out of the year. So create content for that, because that's my passion. I really love doing that, but also I really love helping people get into their houses also, first-time home buyers. So, but the
what's the problem? Your wife is like, hey, Dick, stop doing the fucking mountain house shit, because if you just focused on real estate, you'd make twice the money?
No, she's very supportive, actually. She loves doing it. So
what's the problem?
So my problem is I'll get a project going, and it's such a great idea that everybody's like, why don't you keep going with that idea? You know,
you don't want to.
And another idea pops up, and I start doing something else.
Isaac, 7 years ago, I could have raised a $500 million fund, made $10 million a year just to take meetings, and got 20% of the back end of any deal that won if I had invested properly. I could have been a monster venture capitalist. I could have made bank because I invested in Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. I became Garyvee. Like, I had juice. There was family offices, billionaires throwing money. I mean, take 50 million, take 10 million. Like, I could have built a huge fund. Again, for everybody who doesn't know how a venture capitalist fund runs, is the business is you get 2% to manage the money, and you get 20% of the back end of any of the profits. And if you raise $500 million, you could make at 2%, you can make, $10 million a year just taking meetings and doling out money, and had all the back end. I didn't do it because I didn't want to. Right. Because I actually live my life the way I talk about it, which is happiness over cash.
Yeah. And that's my whole point is I like to create or provide value to somebody, especially like right now during the real estate time. There's a lot of uncertainty in a lot of people's minds. So, just creating that value to
Isaac, one day, and if I have anything to do with it, sooner than later, one day, we as humans are going to change the word success to mean happy, not rich. And when that happens, you're going to tell your friends, hey, why are you doing that job that has 400,000, but you're drinking alcohol every night because you're actually unhappy?
Yes.
Isaac, I think you're winning. And people that are straight, that want you to just pick one thing and stay focused, can go fuck themselves.
Right. Exactly.
Are you happy?
I'm extremely happy.
Are you paying your bills?
I'd be happy.
Yeah. Are you paying your bills?
Oh yeah.
You're fucking winning.
I've never had a problem paying my bills ever. So, during the last
from
downturn,
now on, go ahead. I'm sorry.
During the last real estate downturn, my wife and I, we took a little hiatus, and we traveled and we did roadside sales, selling blankets on the side of the street.
Did Did you save some money prior to that collapse?
We did not, unfortunately, back then.
Have you saved some money this time around?
Yep.
One of the biggest reasons I'm happy, I'm very devastated about Corona. One of the small, subtle, nice things that's going to happen from this is a lot of people are going to learn their first punch in the face, and over the next decade, they will save a little money.
Yeah.
So that when something happens in 13 years, that's unfortunate, they'll be prepared.
Yeah.
Isaac, I see nothing wrong here. I see everything right.
Awesome. Thanks,
I want you to start a project and business every 3 months and then fucking throw it to the garbage because you scratched your itch. Yeah. One thing you could consider, Isaac, instead of shutting them down is bringing in a partner that you give 50% to be the operator, and then you're getting some potential passive income. Nothing's passive. And I talk about that because that person could quit. You'll always have to be on, but you could extract value out of some of these ideas and projects by finding people to run them. And if you really take the worst case scenario and say, okay, I'm gonna bring Susan in, we're gonna be 50-50. Susan's gonna quit after 6 months and start her own version of it because she's gonna get upset that I'm no longer doing anything. As long as you're okay with that, which I love thinking worst case scenario, then you could be a really great spot.
Right. I guess it's like when people try to negotiate, it's like, this is how you came to me.
No. Negotiating is fair. You need to have the fucking balls to walk away and say no.
I do. Well, I think I do.
People negotiate with me all the time. I'm like, no. Garyvee, I'm not paying $150,000 for you to give this speech. I got $70K for you. I'm like, no.
Right.
But $70K to give a speech is so much. I'm like, I don't want it. I'm going to stay home and work. I'm going to go to the Jets. I'm like, what? Like negotiating. Don't be mad for somebody to negotiate. Don't be mad at them for negotiating. You said 5,000. They said 3,000. Like, you're more than welcome to take 4,000 because that's what they alluded to when they said 3,000. Sure. Or you can say, Mr. Smith, I love you very much. I'm going to now go talk to Jane because I have a list of people that want to work with me and I'm not taking less than 5,000. And very honestly, I'm about to make it 5,500 if you sit on it too long.
Right.
You just have to negotiate better.
I know. I think there's been
Gina, let's stay here. If you've got the stomach to walk, you win.
Yeah.
Nobody takes advantage of you when you say yes for the money.
How do we take what we're doing and transcend it? You know, like we do some really cool stuff.
What does transcend mean? Do you mean get people coming to you instead of you going to them?
Not necessarily.
So what does transcend mean?
Okay, I'm saying, like, you know, so we do some really cool art installations, you know, locally. Like we live in Miami. We're both from Cleveland, Ohio originally, but we live in Miami, Florida. So we've done some cool stuff there, you know, but it's like, it's cool, but how do I think both of our personalities and both of our passions for art and
become more famous so people really want you and pay you more to do installations? I just want to define transcend.
Sure.
I need to know what the fuck that means.
Okay. Yes, that's true. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good. How much content are you making?
We should be making more, but we make really beautiful, great content.
I don't give a fuck. I need you to post 4, 7, 13, 23 times a day across 5 platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Like, it's called the internet.
I know, especially
it's called social media.
Yeah.
Not especially. It's been going on, but yes, fine. Like, it's not going anywhere. It's forever. It matters more every single day. There used to be real models, then they became Instagram models. There used to be real comedians, now there's Instagram comedians.
Right.
Like, this fucking ship has sailed.
Mm-hmm.
You have to post fucking content. And then eventually one fucking right person sees your installation in fucking Berlin while they're going through their explore page and they're like, this is fucking fresh. They DM you and your life changes. I do not understand why people don't understand this game, because they're insecure when they post something gets 87 likes and they're like, I might fuck up. Like, people are overthinking
I don't
shit.
care about, no, I'm not
Good.
really.
So fucking post.
I know.
Good.
I just gotta,
good news.
just gotta post.
Gina, I'm super pumped. You got the stomach for negotiation. You don't care. So good. You're set. Go fucking do.